Hello gamers, Power Word Heal here, and today we're going to be talking about mana potions. So if you haven't noticed recently, mana potions have just been exploding. They've been skyrocketing in price. I play on Night Slayer, so I think it's going to be a little bit cheaper for some of you guys that are on other servers, but over here they're going crazy. They're like 7 gold a pop. And it's funny because I had just made a video like a week or two ago about how mana potions were kind of cheap, and you can use mana potions in dark runes, especially if you farm the dark runes yourself, as kind of like a substitute for the really expensive flask, right? Because you get more out of those than you do the flask. Now that still remains true, right? The video is definitely still relevant because flasks have been going up as well. But inflation is hitting everything, man. And I didn't expect it to really touch mana potions because I didn't really expect Blackwing Lair to be a very mana potion instance. I think a lot of this is people just buying up potions and stuff with the assumption, they're trying to prepare and everything like that. I think the prices will go down a little bit over time, but I'm unsure because this could be just a general inflationary effect, right? With just more and more gold coming into the game, prices going up in general. So it's hard to really know exactly where things stand. We'll have to check things out in a couple weeks. But until then, or if things keep going up, I have a little bit of a solution for you guys because I know this is probably breaking some people's banks, right? Especially if you're not able to get on and play a lot. So this was shared to me by my friend Nell from one of the guilds I was in 2019. And she just made me aware of this one day, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. And at the time, I didn't really use it that much because mana potions were kind of cheap on our server. And, how much I'll use it in the future, I'm not sure because I have kind of the goal to weather the storm here, but I may definitely use some of these in some upcoming raids, and let me show you where to get them and what they are. So basically, if you get rank 6 in the PvP system, I think you can enter here. I'm not entirely sure if you need, it might be like a rank 3 or higher, but for the potions, you need rank 6 or higher. So this is the flight path over here, obviously. You just come across the bridge, and this is the Hall of Legends. It's where all the PvP gear is, in case you're unfamiliar. So you just walk right in here, and I guess I'm not sure what the minimum ranking is, but regardless, you need 6 for the potions. You come right over here. There's an equivalent, obviously, for the Alliance as well. And you talk to this guy over here, the Accessories Quartermaster, and you can see there's a healing potion and a mana potion. You can get both of these. I think they have separate... Yeah, so you can buy up to 5 healing potions, right? And then you can buy up to 5 combat potions. These are combat mana and combat healing. Now, the thing about these is that you can actually use them outside of battlegrounds and stuff like that. Like if you notice the battle standard, I think it says, may only be used in PvP battlegrounds. These can be used anywhere, basically. So you can use them in raids, dungeons, the open world, etc., right? And they're really, really cheap. As you can see, they're 9 silver and like basically 10 silver a pop. So 50 silver for 5 potions. These are basically superior equivalent, right? So they're definitely worse than the majors, but, they're not the worst thing in the world. Technically, if they high roll, they could give you more mana than a major, although obviously on average you're just getting more from the majors, right? But they're not bad. And, for 50 silver, that can go a long way. If you're using like 10 potions an instance or something, right? That's kind of like half your potion cost gone. If you're not using any potions at all, I would strongly consider picking these up because just having these 5 is a huge difference from having none, right? And it's very, very cheap, and you can basically re-up. So if you do Blackwing Lair, and then, you don't do MC directly after or something, you do another day, or you're just Pug or something like that, you can come back here, re-up on your potions, and now you have another potion for another set of potions for the next instance. You can buy these before dungeons. I just usually always try and have 5 on me at all times if I'm not carrying other potions because they're really cheap, super easy to use, right? And they can save you in the open world, in dungeons, wherever, basically. So these are really strong. Thanks again to Nell back in 2019 for making me aware of these. And yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about some other potions as well. You'll notice I have Greater Mana Potion in my inventory. Now, this potion is obviously even worse than the superior equivalent here, right? And some people look at this and they'd be like, well, why are we even talking about graders, right? Because they're just so bad. But the thing is if you go look up superior mana potions right now, they're about 6 gold a piece, right? Majors are like 7. So if I were to buy between the two of those, I would probably just buy majors at this point, right? But greater mana potions are like 20 silver a piece, okay? And they don't give much mana back, it's true. You can get a lot of them from Undead Strat if you happen to run that a lot, from the boxes and stuff like that. But the real interesting thing to me is that I think on some classes they're actually more useful than you'd think. And this kind of obviously extends to the combat mana potion since it's worse than the major, right? So you look at these 2 tiers of potions and you're like, it's just not a major mana. But it really depends on what class you're using, right? Because if you're using a priest or a shaman, I get it. Those are very, very mana hungry classes, right? Priest, you're going to be saving people a lot. You kind of need to dip into those high rank flash heals, high rank shields. It's just a class that it does cost a lot of mana to play. Shaman, even rank 1 chain heal is like, 250 mana or something like that. I looked up before the video. I don't quite remember the exact amount, but it's something like that. And then obviously it just scales from there, right? So even when you're using the lower ranks of something like that, it's just really expensive. However, Druid and Paladin are a different story. So Paladin, the max rank 10 of Flash of Light, is 140 mana. Okay, and for Druid, rank 4 Healing Touch, when you're Moonglow and you have all the reduced mana cost talents, right? It's 414 to 505 healing with 150 mana cost. Okay, so that's pretty substantial. And then obviously, with plus healing, that raises the actual value of the heal. So we're getting like a 900 something heal, close to a 1k heal. I could have better gear as well. Still need a couple pieces on this guy for like 150 mana. And if you look, right, that gets us on the Druid, it could get us potentially up to 6 6 casts of rank 4 Healing Touch, right? Which, at 2.5 seconds a piece, buys us like kind of 15 seconds of healing, and it's not like trash healing either. It's pretty substantial healing, right? Now you're also recovering mana during that time, so you may even be able to get another one after that. Obviously, you could low roll, and you don't get quite as many, but still kind of substantial. And obviously, if you use the combat mana potion, you're getting even more cast, right? So Druid is something that even just like one little mana potion can kind of go a long way for you if you can't afford the big ones. And then going back to Paladin, it's basically the same story because the mana cost is like the same on Flash of Light as it is on max rank Flash of Light as it is on rank 4 Healing Touch. But beyond that, Paladins have Illumination, right? And you go into a raid with world buffs, you have about 30-some% crit. Probably at least. Probably a little bit more than that, honestly, right? And, so 1 out of those 3 casts, basically, is probably going to be a crit. Which means that, realistically, on Paladin, you probably get more like 8 casts, right? And then Paladin doesn't quite have, like, in-combat regen, so you're not going to gain more ticks back. But, 8 extra casts of Flash of Light that's probably healing at this point if you have decent gear for around like 1k-ish or something like that. I mean, that's pretty decent, So on some classes, even these lower mana potions can be very effective, whether it's in a dungeon, it's in a raid, and sometimes just using 1 mana potion from you, right, can help buy your raid enough time to either finish the pull if it's like trash, finish the boss if it's boss. It can buy time for your other healers to get to their mana potions if they're on cooldown. You know what I mean? It can buy time for other healers to take a couple ticks of regen, like out of combat, right? So don't underestimate the effect of mana potions. I know we already made a video on it, but even these lower ones I kind of wanted to highlight can be useful in some cases. So yeah, just don't sleep on them. And if you can't afford like the really good stuff, something is better than nothing, and in this case, something is quite a lot better than nothing, actually, right? It's not really just a moral victory to pop a mana potion, even if it's not a good one, right? It can really help and turn the tide. And imagine if everybody in your raid, like, even if you're a very casual guild, right, and everybody in your raid just doesn't have a lot of gold, they're struggling right now because everything's so inflated. But let's say everybody has 5 of those combat mana potions, and you have like 10 of the greater mana potions, okay? And nobody was using potions before, and now you have 5 of these, you have 10 of the greaters. That's a substantial difference with on like 10 to 14 healers depending on what you're running. You know what I mean? When you combine all that mana over all those healers, especially if you combine it with stuff like Dark Runes. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of highlight this, bring it to your attention, because I know the economy's crazy right now. I might make some more economy videos because, yeah, this is going to be. I think they're going to have to do something because the prices are out of control. But that's for another video. Thanks for watching. More videos coming soon. I'm going to do a video on Veil. It's probably going to come out a little bit later. Today, hopefully before some of you guys' raids, I'm going to explicitly talk about how to heal Veil because it seems to be a trouble point for a lot of people. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If it was, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me a lot. Thank you so much for watching as always, and have fun in your raids.